All right, Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the elect, the house of David. All right, I was watching this video done by the apostle Tahar. I finished it. Real good video. This is a topic that pops up from time to time because, you know, when dealing with this topic, as you can see the title of his video, Back to the Basics, which, as he said in the video, is really not basic. The basics of the scriptures are deep within themselves, you know, but they're only for spiritual men to teach, because you have a lot of people who run across that word giant and they formulate all sorts of idol worship and heathenistic ideologies into the scriptures, dealing with angels jumping down from heaven and having sex with women. And that's not what the scriptures is talking about. But the name of this video is Back to the Basics, Giants, the Nephillims, and the Sons of God. And you can type in Nephillims and Giants on YouTube right now, and what you're going to see is a bunch of bugged out breakdowns. Now, you'll see Great Millstone breakdowns, and you may have a few other Israelite groups who have the understanding on that, who've done breakdowns on it. But I'm going to do a quick one, because it's actually a very, very important topic for you to understand, all right, when reading the Bible. Okay, it's a lot of people who come into this truth and these basics, these things like this, all right, they don't have a full understanding of, but they'll try to jump to the book of Revelation or try to understand the Gentiles or try to understand, but they don't even have a basic foundation within the book of Genesis, within the story of Adam and Eve, within the story of the sons of God, within this story with the giants. All right, understanding and having a foundation here in these things, even the Elohim, in the beginning, the Elohim created the heaven and the earth. It's a lot of people that don't have a foundation or a understanding in that, and they go off and try to teach everything else or learn everything else, and it becomes a stumbling block, man. But a lot of people, which we're going to get in the book of Genesis, they see this word giants and they lose it, man. GOCC, I know, is one school who teaches that the Nephilims are giants such as Zeus, all right, and other, you know, false idols who came out of the skies and had sex, all right, with women, which produced the wicked on the earth, or some shit like that, man, which that's far from the truth. We're going to go ahead and get into it. You can watch this video. I'm just going to do a land back off of what the apostle already did. He broke it down in this video, but the spirit was on me to just do a reply video to it. So Lord willing, you brothers and few sisters who are watching are edified. All right. We're going to go ahead and get the book of Genesis, the 5th chapter. Okay. Because if you remember, Genesis, the 4th chapter, dealt with Cain and Abel, which were the sons of Adam. Okay? Now, when you were reading the book of Genesis, all right, after Cain slew Abel, all right, after Cain slew Abel, okay, Adam had another child, and that child's name was Seth, okay? Now, when you're dealing with Cain and Abel, you have to understand that it was establishing a righteous through Cain. I mean, not through Cain, a righteous, all right, through Abel, but he was slew, and then a wicked through Cain, okay? This was the wicked and the righteous seed line being put on the planet Earth through Adam. Just as when you read Genesis, the 25th chapter, who did Isaac give us? He gave us Jacob and Esau. The same thing is happening here. Okay? Adam, all right, through his loins came the righteous and the wicked. Okay? Seed line. And on down, we'll get the story of the sons of God. So we'll start here in Genesis, the 4th chapter. All right? It says, and Adam knew his wife again. This is after, all right, Abel was slew. So Adam knew his wife again, and she bare him a son and called his name Seth. For God said, For God said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. All right. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. So the name of the Lord will be called upon through this seed line. Okay. This is the narrative you have to follow and understand through the Bible. So we go to Genesis, the 5th chapter. Okay. We go to Genesis, the 5th chapter. And it states this. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Okay. Male and female created he them. All right. Adam, all right, was a generation, man, was a seed line of people, man. Okay. The Adamites. But the chosen line came through Adam, through Seth. Okay. And this is how we have this platform today. This is what the Bible is dealing with. Okay. The name of the Lord was given through that line. The righteous ways, the law, statutes, commandments, the way to be upright on the planet Earth was given to this line. Okay. But the issue was that this line always rebelled, which led to death. All right. Which will show you. Male and female created he them and blessed them. Okay. And called their name Adam in the day they were created. Okay. And Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own image, in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth. Okay. And in the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters. Okay. So when you keep going down, it goes through Seth, it goes through Enos. Okay. And you're going to notice a familiar name pop up. Okay. These are the sons of God on the right hand side. Okay. These are the ones who would uplift and uphold the name and way of the Most High. All right. Which was why he said he made them in his likeness. Okay. Go down. It's Methuselah. All right. And you can read this on your own, but I'm not going to read through it all. I'm just going to breeze through it so that you can get an understanding. And when you get to the end, all right, what does it say? And Noah was 500. Well, it starts here at 30. Well, we'll start here at 28. And Lamech lived 108 and 2 years and begot a son. Now you'll see Lamech. There was also a Lamech through the seed line of Cain. Okay, a lot of these names are going to be familiar when you read these gene lines. Okay, but this is the Lamech on the right hand side. Okay. It says, because Cain was also a son of God. Esau is also a son of God. Okay. But it's on the left hand side for a different purpose, man. Okay. So verse 29 is where you're going to have to start paying attention. You pay attention through it all, but you're going to see a name pop up that you're familiar with. It says, and Lamech lived 108 and 2 years and begat a son and called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because the ground which the Lord have cursed. Okay. And that's what the name Noah means, comfort. Okay. And Lamech lived after he begot Noah 590 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. 777. All right. So it goes into Noah. Now, when you jump to Genesis, the 6th chapter, is where it starts to talk about the sons of God. Okay. Now, mind you, the righteous seed line is established through Seth, Enos, and all of those. All right. That's what this chapter is dealing with. Okay. These are the sons of God on the right hand side. Okay. These were the ones who were to uphold the righteousness of Yahweh in the planet Earth. Okay. Now, when you jump to Genesis, the 6th chapter, okay, it says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. All right. Because you also had other nations on the earth. Okay. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, okay, and took them wives, which they chose. Now, people go crazy here and say, well, the sons of God is speaking of the angels. No, the sons of God is speaking of the righteous seed line, okay? And they saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. Let's look up this word fair, okay? Okay, fair, tawab, good, okay, pleasant, agreeable. They look good, okay? So what does this remind you of in the scriptures that you've seen before? Because what does the scripture say? Let's get Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. All right. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, so what can you think of in the Holy Scriptures? All right. What can you think of in the Holy Scriptures, okay, that fits with this narrative right here? Okay? Israel, man. Okay? When they got around the other nations, what did Israel always do? They married unto their wives, the daughters of the heathen. And what comes with marriages? Customs, feast, idol worship. Okay? And they lost their way. Now, there's a way to deal with a concubine. King David dealt righteously with concubines. He didn't bow to their gods. Okay? This is the same thing. This is no different than what happened at the time of Ezra, Nehemiah, when Jake was raising their children, all right, in the customs of the heathen, through marriages of the heathen women. Okay? Solomon, he fell off through hold on, we can do something real quick. Hold up. Make that a little brighter. All right. Solomon also fell off. So this is the same thing happening. All right. But before we were called Israelites. That's what you have to understand. So let's read this again. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, the chosen line, which Noah was one of those of the chosen line, okay, saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives, all right, of all which they chose. Okay? And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years, because they went off. Watch this. There were giants in the earth in those days. All right? And also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of the men, they bare them children. The same became mighty men, which are of old, men of renown, because they laid with the women of the other nations, and they had children. Those children were also sons of God on the right-hand side. They would also be labeled Israelites, because you have this narrative that if an Israelite man lays with a heathen woman, then that child could not be an Israelite. You men need to grow up, man. Men need to get out of your own emotions, man. The seed that comes out of the man, if it comes out of an Israelite man, no matter where it's planted, what comes out of the earth, or what comes out of that woman who was likened unto the earth, is going to be an Israelite, okay? So these men who were supposed to uphold the ways and righteousness of the Most High, who were made in the image of the Most High, did what? Went off, just as Adam went off. You see that? That's what this is talking about. Now let's deal with this word giants real quick, and we'll go back to the story. Okay? Let's go to this word giants. All right? Let's see. Here's the word for giants. Okay? Napayal, all right? And that's where you get the Nephillim from, okay? It says giants, the Nephillim, okay? Let's go to the root word. To fall, lie, be cast down, to fall, to fall prostrate, to fall down, okay, to fall short, to fail. And that's what they did. It wasn't that they were literal giants walking around the planet Earth. Now, this was before the flood, so their mass had to be bigger. They had to be bigger, and their stature would have to be bigger than what we see today. Okay, as it says in Esdras, all right, our man has waxen weak, man. We aren't of the same stature of these men. So, of course, the atmosphere of the earth was totally different. They would have to have been bigger. Okay, the earth wasn't as spread out as it is with all of the water now. So most likely it spin faster. So, yes, they were bigger, but when it says giants, it's not actually talking about giants. Okay? You see that? To cause to fall, to throw down, to lay, to prostrate, to overthrow. Okay? And that's what happened to our people. Now, let's get a precept to where you can find this word. Should be in Genesis. Let's see here. We'll go. No, it should be in Psalms. Psalms 82, I believe. Let's go back. Salakia. We're gonna get, I'll just go to it. I believe it's in Psalms 82. Salakia. Sons of God. Let me see here. I don't use this app that much, so let's see. Psalms 82, I believe. There you go. This is Psalms 82 and 6. All right. I have said, ye are the sons of God. All right. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you the children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Okay. And he's talking to the chosen line. All right. The true judges of the planet Earth, man. Okay. So it says, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Okay, because it wasn't meant for that chosen line to go off. They were supposed to just know righteousness, but once they learned wickedness, they kept tasting of it. And what did it lead to? A fall, a downfall, man. So let's look up this word, fall like men, but you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. What you're going to see? The same word, to fall, to lie down. All right. That's that word, Nepal, man. That's where you get the Nephillim, the fallen ones. And who are the fallen ones? The chosen line. Okay. Which today, the Israelites, we're the fallen ones because we received the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. The Most High made us in his likeness, in his image. Okay. Gave us the righteous ways. But what did we do? We chose after the ways of the other nations, the heathen nations, man. Okay? Which is a narrative of the whole Bible. Let's get Psalms 106. Psalms 106 and 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works and served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and daughters, all right, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan. And the land was polluted with blood. Thus they were defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Okay? Not only did this happen to Israelites, but before we were called Israelites, it happened to the sons of God. Okay? Now, when you go back to Genesis 6, okay, we're going to get more. Okay? And that also happened at the time. Let's get real quick. The Jews' language. This is Nehemiah 13, all right? And I start at 23. In those days, also I saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and of Ammon and of Moab, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the language of the Jews, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things? Yet among many nations there was no king like unto them, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our own God in marrying strange wives? Now the women of the other nations are only supposed to be concubines, but our people were making agreements with their people, taking them to their gods. Okay. And when you deal with marriage, it's more than just sex, and that makes the marriage. There's agreements, there's lands, there's a lot that goes with marriage, in which you become a part of that family, and that family becomes a part of you. Okay? So what our people did was started to marry. All right? As a matter of fact, let's see here. When you look up this word, let's see, marrying, real quick. Yashab, okay, it says to dwell, to remain, to abide, meaning you were living, your concubine wasn't supposed to be in the same house, like all like that, man. She was just your toy, your thing to have fun with, man. But these niggas were actually marrying them, man. Okay? To dwell, to have one's abode, to stay with. Okay? So she brings her gods into your house, and because it's so good, you don't care, man. Then your children are being raised within her customs at the end, man. This ain't the way that you're supposed to deal with a heathen woman. You're only supposed to marry and dwell and remain with women of your own nation, man. But in these times, it's all messed up, man. Now, when you go back to Genesis, the 6th chapter, okay, read all of this again with the understanding of what that means, and then we'll get some more precepts, man. Genesis 6:1, and it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives, okay, of all which they chose. All right. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man. All right. Even when the Lord gave Adam a wife, it was out of his family line. Okay. The Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days. Now, this is where people bug out. Now, we just gave you the understanding of what it means by giants, the fallen ones, okay? The men of great stature, the men whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai chose to do their will on the earth, but they weren't doing his will. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they bare them children. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown, because they were of that same line. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Just like with Adam, they ate of that tree. Just like with Israel, they got amongst the heathen, started drinking blood, sacrificing their children, being homosexuals, being losers. The same thing happened back here, man. This is the narrative of the Bible, the chosen line, the Lord's chosen, which he likens it to his wife, whoring after other gods. Okay? And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him in his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I've created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and the creeping thing. All right. And when you jump to verse 8, who amongst them, amongst the sons of God, because Noah, these were his brothers and cousins and family members, were just going the hell off. But what was he doing? He stuck to the script. He did what was right. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. He didn't go off into those customs of those heathens. He didn't leave from the way of the Lord. So what did the Lord do? He flooded the earth and started over with Noah, which is why in Genesis 5, okay, in 29, it says, and called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, and because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. Okay? So this is where Noah comes in at, because he was also one of the sons of God, but he just didn't go off as the sons of God did, the other ones, man, on the right-hand side. And then that's where he had Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and the lot of the chosen fell on Shem. Okay, and later on down, you had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, let's go back to this thing of the giants, because there's precepts in the scriptures that describe this, man. Okay? This is Wisdom of Solomon 14. Well, I'll start at the Baruch. All right, this is Baruch 26. Baruch 3 and 26. Okay? And then we'll go back. It said there were giants famous from the beginning, the chosen men. They were famous, they were great, they jumped the highest, they were experts of war, as it's gonna say, just like we are today. But look at what we're doing. Look at what our people are doing, man. And we as we as the elect are coming in the spirit of Noah, man. We want the Lord to find grace before he engulfs this place in fire in us, man. Find grace in us, man. Okay? Shall the Lord find faith on the earth? He found that faith in Noah, man. This ain't talking about no giants jumping down from the heavens having sex with regular women. It says there were giants famous from the beginning that were of so great stature and so experts of war. Those did not the Lord choose, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them. Okay? Because what? The creature was made subject to vanity. Okay, but they were destroyed because they had no wisdom and perished in their own foolishness. Okay? And that's what happened. Okay, let's go back here. Let's get Sirach 16 and 7. Okay? Sirach 16 and 7. He was not pacified towards the old giants who fell away in the strength of their foolishness. And what was their foolishness? Idol worship. Being wicked, which leads to wickedness, man, which is what you see our people doing today. Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned, but abhorred them for their pride. Okay? You see that? He was not pacified toward the old giants, man. The fallen ones. Okay? We are those fallen ones, man. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 6. Now, this chapter, Solomon is going into the history of idol worship and how from the beginning it's been the problem. Okay? The time of Adam and Eve. What do you think eating the other trees and eating of those other philosophies were? It was idol worship, man. We were supposed to eat of the tree of life, which leads to life. Okay? The righteousness, the law, statutes, commandments, man. Before they were written on tablets, it was given orally to this people, man. So this chapter is dealing with idol worship. Okay, and here you go. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 6. For in old time also, when the proud giants perished, the hope of the world governed by the hand escaped in a weak vessel, left to all ages a seed of generation. For blessed is wood whereby righteousness cometh. There's nothing wrong with wood, right? But when you take wood and create an idol, and that idol becomes a god, which is the dumb and stupidity that these other nations are into, all right? Because vagina is good, right? But when you take vagina, put it on a pedestal, and make it into a god, okay? When you make men into gods and something you deem higher than, the creator, and, wind, air, all of these things. This is what the heathen were into, and this is what our people got into, man. Idol worship. Go jump to verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. Okay? Just get Wisdom of Solomon 12, man. I think this is the chapter where it talks about how they deemed fire and wind, and I don't know where it's at. Let's see here. But you get the point. The heathen deemed fire, wind, and all of these things to be gods, Let's see here. Let me try to look for it real quick. That's what our people were getting into. This is what the sons of God were getting into, man. I probably won't find it. There you go. So Wisdom of Solomon 13. When you deal with Wisdom of Solomon 12 through 14, you'll get a lot of history on the sons of God and what was happening, with the seed line of Adam and how they went off. This is Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of God, and could not out of the things that are seen known him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind or swift air or circles of the stars or violent waters or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world. Okay, and that's the knowledge of these heathens, man. That's what they're into. We, as the sons of God, were supposed to always worship the Heavenly Father in sincerity and truth and uplift him in the earth. Okay? Which is why we became Gentiles. This is how we became Gentiles. It didn't just happen at the time of Paul, okay? The Lord divorced us back here too. Okay? But just when we were named Israel, did you start to see it named in that way, okay? The marriage, the wife. But if you're spiritual, you can read this, okay? Because it says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with men, for that he is also flesh. Then it talks about there were giants in the earth in those days, all right? And then when you jump, it said, the wickedness of man became great on the earth. You have to extrapolate and say, well, what made it wicked? The same thing, our people going amongst the Gentiles and learning their ways, man. It's the same story. That's what this is talking about, man. And there's so much more we can get into, but I don't have that much time. But this is what it's talking about when it's talking about the giants, man. That chosen line that came through Adam, because you had two lines that came through Adam. You had Cain, then you had Abel. Abel was slew. Seth was born, and then men started to call on the name of the Lord, meaning this was the chosen line. This is the line in whom he would put his image. Okay? And as this line grew and got bigger, okay, here came Noah. And then at this time, they saw the daughters of men, and they completely left off from the ways that were given unto them to live by. Point blank, period. This is not talking about no damn angels hopping out of the earth, man. Okay, the angels, the chains of darkness are these bodies, man. because we rebelled against the Lord. Okay? Let me get that scripture. I think it's in Peter. Oh boy. Yeah. I think it's in Peter. There you go. It's the 2nd Peter. All right. Come on, man. 2 Peter 2:4. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, and we are the angels, we're the Elohim. Okay? For if God spared not the angels that sinned, how did they sin before the law was written on tablets? Because they were given the laws orally. It was supposed to be in them. Okay? But through Adam's sin, we all fell, man. Okay? For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down, the Nephillim, okay? The fallen ones, but cast them down to hell, all right, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah. It's talking about that same story that we just read about, brothers and you few sisters. Hopefully y'all getting this, man. Let me know on the comment board if I'm making sense, man, because if I'm not, I'll do another video. Didn't we just read this same narrative? But people see God and angels. Ain't we the angels? Angels just means messengers. Let's go back here real quick to Genesis, man. Oh boy, the app is crashing now, I guess. Hold up. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. What are these chains of darkness? These bodies, man. This flesh being subject unto sin. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing the flood upon the world of the ungodly. See that? That's what that's talking about. Somebody said, what about what Peter said? No, Peter is talking about this same thing that we're reading about in Genesis, the 6th chapter. Okay? That's it, man. He's talking about this, man. It was something I wanted to look up real quick. Yep. When the sons of God. But that's it, man. You know, I made the point, man. I made the point. I'm not going to try to go too deep. Hey, man, through the Spirit, hopefully I'll edify, man. We're going to give all praise. Call halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone. We also want to give peace and salutation to the elect. Look, man, this ain't talking about the angels, all right, from the, spirit world jumping down. Now, the sons of God were angels in the beginning, but we came down in flesh eventually, man, through union of men and women. Those spirits that you read about in the beginning, the Elohim created the heaven and the earth, they eventually came down in flesh through union of man and woman, man. Let me know if the understanding was given. Shalom.